Okay. Got it. Okay. Let's see. To open the ceremonies, and ceremonies is a topic tonight. I'm going to put a little pizzazz into the Pledge of Allegiance. From my list, I'm choosing, these stars and stripes are our dreams and our labors. In these unsettled times, let us pledge our allegiance to our American flag with new hope. Scout salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. Please join me in the Scout oath, followed by the Scout law. On my honor, do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to help other people, and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Scout law. Scout is trustworthy,
loyal, helpful,
friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. 2. Thank you all for joining us tonight. The only one I can't see is Ken Fung. So I don't have anything in particular to say other than I'm glad I'm here. I wasn't expecting to be. And we still cannot hear very well, even with the hearing aids. So I may cut out after a while, or at least mute myself if I start coughing. Sorry about that.
Let me then share. I'll share the my screen, the PowerPoint, and we can begin.
Okay.
I think. Go ahead, Ron.
Okay. Robert has asked to go first because he has another meeting to attend. Our activities chairperson, Robert Logan, to talk about the Klondike Derby. You want to switch the slide, Steve? There is the original Klondike Derby picture. Okay, Robert.
Are you in that?
No, that's Troop 109 actually in the background. We're at the top.
Okay. So yeah, the annual it's a joint Sons of Liberty, Flintlock, Great Eastern District Polar Bear Challenge Klondike Derby. I don't know how many years we've been doing it, 25 years or more. And again, this year, in recent years, we've had it up at TL Store Scout Reservation in Barnstead, New Hampshire. And it starts in 3 weeks. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, first weekend in February. It's actually February.
Friday's
2, 3, 4. So that's wrong. February 3, 4. It's February 2, 3, 4. It's February 2 to 4. Because it starts, registration's Friday night. And it's it's pretty much the standard fare that we always do. And we already have registration is open. We already have at least 15 troops signed up. We usually get a rush. The deadline for registering is I think it's the 19th. Is that let me see. Hold on a second to see what the deadline for registering on that is.
That would be a week from tomorrow.
Yeah. Hold on, I can tell you if I can just find. Okay, here we go. The deadline, the last day to register for this event is Friday, January 19th. Yeah. So Friday, so a week from Friday is the last day to register. And we always get a big rush right at the end. Um, so, people want to start thinking about signing up. I don't know if anybody has any questions about the Klondike Derby, what it is, or anything like that. But to register, you can, if you go to the council website and you look at the calendar, the council-wide activities calendar, and you look at that weekend and you click on the Klondike activity for that first weekend in February 2, 3, 4. It will bring you to the registration page. It's a jot form page where you can register. So that's how you register. So other than that, I don't know if there's any questions.
The next slide, for anybody who hasn't done the Klondike Derby, we've got some links to how it's led and things like that from some of the other councils. Okay, I think everybody who's here has participated in one of these before, so maybe we can move on. Bob Wright has asked for time.
Let me just mention.
Yeah, go ahead.
One last, before I go, one last thing. For anybody that might be hesitant, maybe you got some, young kids, stuff like that. There will be warming stations open all the time. So if anybody gets, starts getting
Hypothermic.
pre-hypothermic, they can come in to a couple of different places and warm up. We'll have hot chocolate and a couple of buildings with the heat on, so they can come in and get their temperature back up. So if you're just a little bit worried about that, we do have some ability to take care of those situations.
Thank you, Robert. Appreciate it.
All right.
Appreciate all your work on this activity. Take care. Good luck at your other meeting.
All right, thanks.
Okay, Bob Wright from Medford is here to tell us about a new event that's on the calendar. Bob, go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Bob Wright. I am a corrections officer with the Middlesex Sheriff's Office. I am also the Cub Master for Pack 416 Cub Scouts in Medford. I've worked very closely with John Bull. So we have a great event coming up that the Sheriff's Department is actually sponsoring along with my pack, but they are doing the big sponsorship. I have created Scout Safety Day for all Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, venturing Scouts. This year's event is going to be a lot larger than what I anticipated. Last year we ran one just for my pack. We had a great turnout. This year I'm hoping for a ton more kids. It is actually going to be held on June 30th, 2024 from 10 to 2 at the Shriners Auditorium in Wilmington. The Shriners Auditorium is graciously giving me the building for no charge whatsoever. This is a day that I created in order for Scouts to meet and greet first responders, the men and women that put their life on the line every day for their safety, people that they don't know. It's a great day to come out, see the emergency vehicles, interact with the first responders on, just on a very informal basis. We have a lot of great events so far planned. This is a free admission, free parking. I don't know if any of you have ever been to the Shriners Auditorium. Very large complex. In addition to all the first responders, I am anticipating K9 demonstrations, I have the Masonic Chip Program, which is a child identification program. In case a parent's worst nightmare comes true, they do fingerprinting. They do an interview with the child. They send the parents home with a disk for their computer. Actually, it's a little zip drive now. Has all their important information about the child. The Middlesex Sheriff's Office, we also do car seat installs for children. We also do the car seat checks. We're going to be running that same day. I anticipate a lot more coming. What I would probably end up doing is, Ron, with your permission, I will send you a copy of the flyer. It's not in concrete as of yet. So it's kind of an example, as agencies add, delete, once I get all their full responses, I'll be bringing that up to date. So I'm hoping the final one will be out by April, so we can anticipate a great day at the Shriners Auditorium for the Sheriff's Department. Do you guys have any questions regarding this?
You gonna have a helicopter this year?
I'm going to try like hell. Be it
Big parking
Boston Med
lots.
Flight, State Police, I'm going to try my hardest to get it there. There is a big enough venue for them to land one. The day before, there was actually a antique fire show going on. So I'm going to try and get a couple of those trucks to be held over for our event. Right now, I have about 25 agencies on my list. This is all my doing, my legwork. Last evening, I attended the Flintlock District Roundtable to pitch the idea. They were all for it 100%. So they're going to keep pushing the program through the spring. So I would kindly ask that you guys do the same. Like I said, it's open to all Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, family, friends. Come on down, meet and greet, and expect a good time.
That's great, Bob. We'll keep the date on our list of activities that comes as the first part of every roundtable session. So
Yep.
we'll keep you noticed, and if you get the brochure, we'll certainly distribute it to our list.
I will, and then what I can do is maybe not February but March. I will attend the roundtable again. Make sure that everything's getting distributed the right way. Any questions, my email is there. My state email will be on the flyer, as well as my cell phone number. So if there's any questions in the meantime, you can get in touch with myself or even John. John will gladly get in touch with me, keep me up to date with any information. John lives very close to me, so if I have to drop some flyers off to be distributed, I'm more than happy to take care of it. I know the Scout store, Jonathan Plover he's going to provide me a little section within the store for a big poster and just to lay out some flyers for people that go to the store. They can grab them and take them as needed.
Sounds great. Sounds very exciting. Is anybody going to be allowed to ride on the bucket on a fire truck?
That would be up to the fire departments. I'm hoping they will. The one I ran last May for my pack, they allowed the kids to climb all over the truck, which was phenomenal. The other good part of this is the EMS services that I'm going to be contacting. I'm hoping to put together a little first aid class for the kids. They can either earn their badge or they can earn, some steps into the badge. Maybe they can run a half-hour program for the kids, basic first aid, get them up to speed. EMS loves showing up off their pretty trucks, so I figured might as well put them to work as well.
Sounds great.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good job, Bob.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Plover, do you have some stuff, Mr. Plover? We got you. You're on.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Great seeing everybody. Happy New Year. First off, a week ago tonight, We celebrated with 430 or 40 of our closest friends up at the Doubletree in Danvers, celebrating the class of 2023's Eagle class. I think just over 100 of the 200 Eagle Scouts from last year were represented, and their family and friends and troop leaders and all that sort of stuff. And so it was a really, really fun event, and a good opportunity to take a break and celebrate the accomplishments of these fine young men and women, and on their achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. A couple of activities and events just to put on your radar screen. Saturday, April 6th, up at the Simons Middle School in Burlington, we're going to be holding a commissioner college. So commissioners of any designation, unit commissioner, roundtable commissioner, area commissioners, district and council commissioners, everybody's welcome. But even beyond that, people that might become commissioners, people that just want to learn more about scouting, they have a number of great programs and classes for folks to participate in. So it's not restricted to a registered commissioner. So feel free to participate in that if you get a chance. We moved the venue across the street from where we held it last year. The great news is we've outgrown that facility. So we have the middle school, which has a much larger gathering area, cafeteria for us to do the opening ceremony and hold lunch and all that sort of stuff. And then plenty of classroom space for the actual classes.
Jonathan, can I just jump in on Commissioner College real quick?
Go for it.
I heard from our assistant council commissioner that because our council hasn't put together a University of Scouting in a while, that the Commissioner College will serve as a equivalent for the purposes of the Scouters Training Award and Scouters Key.
Good. To further back up we'll let anybody come, not regardless of whether they're a commissioner or not. So perfect. The following weekend, Saturday, April 13th, is there's going to be a STEM Merit Badge Expo up at the UMass Lowell, hosted predominantly by Westwind District, however, open to scouts from any district. So I don't know if they've opened the registration for that quite yet. They're still getting the merit badge instructors in place for that, but that should be opening pretty soon if it hasn't already. There is, and I just learned this morning, so I'm just getting the word out as fast as possible. There is going to be a membership fee increase of $5, and the part I wasn't expecting is usually they do this in August. This is effective March 1st. So 80 to 85 for the youth, 60 to 65 for the adults. There is a silver lining in that. They are discontinuing the $25 joining fee. So there is a little bit of a trade-off or a silver lining to all of that. Now, as unit leaders, that's less to, I guess, be concerned with the online registrations. People take care of those fees, so they'll recognize that they'll log on or enter the information for the new scout or the new adult, and the system will just know, okay, it's March 1st, charge them this much instead of that much. So I don't have a whole lot more other than Denise at the office heard a rumor about that and I didn't hear it yet. So I said, let me contact someone at National, and they did confirm that was coming into place. So we'll be putting out word in the newsletter, send emails to the Key 3 just so people are aware of that thing. But I think I'm happy to see the new unit, the new member fee being discontinued. I thought that was confusing and a little bit of extra over the top. And March 1st is the magic date again, because the charter renewal system is going to have an overhaul at that point. So we're really, really pushing for everybody to pedal to the metal to get everything completely done and submitted to us so that we can review it, make sure it's clean, good to go, and get everything posted before the end of February so that everybody's on the books and there's no question of, if people were in limbo, it gets into March 1st, what happens to those charter rosters and going to a whole new system? Will it carry over or not, and all that sort of stuff. Good news for, at least for Sons of Liberty District, I believe we're down to only two units that haven't started the process and 2 units that are logged in but haven't submitted for review and approval. So You guys are actually doing relatively well in that regard. So thank you for all your efforts with that. I will double check that in a minute. Art, I'll pull up the roster and give you an answer on that one.
What was
I
the fee
think
again for
that's-
youth?
I'm sorry,
What is the fee for youth?
85, starting March 1st.
Thank you.
And then the recharter system, once we get past this one next year, we're just starting to get bits and pieces of what that's going to feel or look like. The biggest thing is the youth rosters. That isn't going to be a thing to review or approve any longer because people are renewing online on their own. So what will happen is you'll verify your adult leaders, and that's what's going to get signed off by the charter organization. As they're supposed to do is approve their leaders. So that step will be there, and then it's really just check out, and the $100 charter fee is all it's going to be. So it sounds like it'll be an easier, less painful, less involved process. We'll see it and believe it once it actually comes through, and take it from there. But as we get a little bit more information, we'll let you know. I believe starting after March 1st, the ability for packs or troops or crews or ships to pay for the joining scouts, there is supposed to be an option for that. And what I'm not clear is, does the pack opt in or does it automatically have that option? I got to find out those logistics. I do know that ability for the unit to pay for the individual is a all or nothing. So I know some packs like to cover Scout's life or cover the adventure card or stuff like that. If the pack is or troop is gonna opt to cover the fees, they have to pay for everything, and then if they are collecting portions from the individual, then it's on them to chase that down from the families at that point. And I just saw are on hold, so that means we're looking it over right now. Yes, thank you, Ken. So you're in the stack to be reviewed, Art. So good news. That's all I have. Any questions for the group? From the group?
John, the unit leaders will get periodic notices of scouts who are ending the term of their 12 months, correct?
Yes. Yep.
So there's no chance that you'll be sending a charter and not really knowing who's a scout and who's not.
Correct. Yep.
So I just put something in the chat. I was trying to find this merit badge college thing, and I did find one that's going to be UMass Amherst by the Western Mass Council. I haven't found the one for UMass Lowell, but another one.
I'm not sure that went live yet because they're still locking down the counselors and making sure they got the courses identified.
Sure, I'm just
identifying.
Right, I'm just identifying. So it's a March 6th,
Yep.
March 2nd and April 6th. There'll be one at UMass Amherst. That's done out of the Western Mass Council. So just another opportunity out there. I know we just had a group that went down to Rhode Island this past weekend, I think it was.
I think you're right. Yep. And I just want to take a minute to thank Bob for coordinating this safety day. He was telling me about what they did last year and how it's growing to something even bigger and more exciting. And I'm hoping that it really latches on to be a nice council-wide offering.
I hope so. I'm working my rear end off for it.
Well, I'm gonna let the health and safety committee, the council's health and safety committee, know about it, and then
Yep.
feel free to lean on them if you need assistance or resources or different things like that.
I will. Thank you.
You got it.
Very good.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, thank you. Steve, do you want to go over the district events that are coming up? We have the recognition dinner, district meeting, but I don't know the dates by heart.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ron. So just to highlight for everybody, on April 8th, which is Monday, will be our district meeting and recognition dinner. It will take place at the First Baptist Church in Arlington on Massachusetts Avenue. And we'll send more information about that, for attendance and so forth. But an important thing to keep in mind is the recognition that you should be thinking about who you know in your unit or within Scouting in the Sons of Liberty District who is worthy of recognition. There is a District Award of Merit that focuses on volunteer service at the district level. We have the Charles Nason Award, named after a outstanding scouter from Arlington, Charlie Nason, which is a recognition of outstanding service over a long period of time to not only the district, but to scouting broadly. And of course, there's other forms of recognition. In the past, we've given awards for things like the Outstanding Scouter of the Year. If there's someone in your unit or someone you know in scouting in our district who's you believe is worthy of recognition, then write it up, put it in email, send it to us. You can send it to me, scouter248@gmail.com, and I'll get it to Joe McConey. He's the person chairing the recognition efforts. And we'll evaluate it. And if you think they're worthy of recognition, they probably are. So we'll figure it out. But also, we also want you to tell us about your service anniversaries, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 or more. Fill out the veteran service form, send it into the council for approval, but then communicate to us that you've done that, and we'll make sure to recognize you at the district dinner. And then there's also training awards, the square knots that we can wear in our uniforms as adults, Scouter training awards, and more. Look into those. Joe Curran is our training chairman, and you can communicate with him if you have questions about what's available, or just go on to scouting.org and search for Square Knots, Adult Leader Training. I also want to point out that the district program kickoff is May 9, which is a Thursday evening. That will take the place of Roundtable. It will also be at the First Baptist Church in Arlington. And just save the date for now. We'll have more information coming out on that in the future. And then finally, June 8 and 9, we're hosting Introduction to Outdoor Leadership Skills training for adult scouters, primarily at the Scouts BSA level. And this is not limited to Scout Masters and Assistant Scout Masters. Any adult leader who's registered with the BSA can and should take this training. But it is required training for Scout Masters. So this is an opportunity to do that. We will have information on how to register up on the district page on the council website soon. But for now, save the date. It's basically a full day and a half. We'll start early Saturday morning, like at 8 o'clock. It'll be at Camp Sayre, New England Base Camp in Milton. There'll be an overnight. We'll have a tent site rented, and we've got an outstanding staff of instructors to work with you and share their scouting experience and scout skills. So, Introduction to Outdoor Leadership Skills, June 8 and 9. Look forward to more information on registration. And that's it for me, Ron. If you want to pass it on to John for his commissioner's report.
Right. Yes. Thank you, Steve. John Bowl.
Yes, I don't have much to report. The biggest share of what's going on right now, of course, is getting the units rechartered, re-registered, and up and running. If they, well, most of them are running already. There looks like there'll be a new one in Revere. They've been actually operating for more than just this last year without being registered. But at least the spirit of scouting is continuing in that town, which is great. It extends our district all the way to the ocean for Sons of Liberty.
From sea to shining Watertown.
You can see the water, yes. Sometimes the water comes to see you. So River Beach. Other thing, well, not really commissioner's report, but the district Pinewood Derby. I'm shooting for, I believe it's May 6th. Let's see, the district 11, no, 4th. May 4th, the first Saturday in May for the district Pinewood Derby for the Cub Scouts. Hoping to get it back at the Watertown Mall. They've hosted us for several years before COVID, and they had done it years and years in the past too. So there's a good connection there. Although I believe the manager may have retired, my connection. So trying to firm that up. But we want to get out in the face of the public, be seen by the public. The previous 2 years we did the District Pinewood Derby at the PAC 313 in Arlington last year, and the year before at a facility that Troop 250, I believe, uses in Waltham. So moving into Watertown, we'll get a little closer to the center of the council and again, get us in the eyes of the public, and people can do some shopping at the same time there. There was not great facilities for food, however, just one little restaurant there. The registry has moved out, I understand, of that the building at the Watertown Mall. So that could be interesting. They may shove us in there, but I'd rather stay in the corridor where people actually have to walk by us and hear us loudly cheering on the Cub Scouts at all levels, Lion through Arrow of Light, second year Webelos are known now. So other than that, anybody who would be interested in being commissioner, I know David Tazinski is with us this evening. He's signed up, but I haven't gotten him to him yet lately for getting him going on which units to serve and or what he wants to do as serving. But certainly the Commissioner College would be good for anybody coming, thinking about it, or actually deciding to sign on as being a district member unit commissioner. Okay, I think that's it for me.
Great, John. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. So we're thinking about talking a little bit about the role of ceremonies in scouting, and we're getting there. Here we go. We all use them, and the question I think is can we share tonight what different people have done to accomplish the goals of having ceremonies. Mainly the notion that you can use them to reinforce ideals in your programs. Scouts BSA leaders, do you have any ceremonies to inaugurate new junior leaders? Art, David, anybody?
I'll let Art talk for our troop, but I don't think we have one for that.
Okay.
No, I was just shaking my head. No.
Well, I've done that, and it's kind of a very simple thing of if you look at the it used to be called Wood's Wisdom, now it's called Troop Program Features. They're PDF documents at scouting.org. They have a volume, 3 volumes. In addition to like unit troop meeting plans, they also have a series of suggestions for ceremonies that you can modify at will of everything from installing a new patrol leader to installing your senior patrol leader. Notion is you do a little spiel about, the responsibilities that you're taking on and your role to be a good communicator, to be a good leader of your patrol or the troop. And typically, have them do the scout oath while they to hold the troop flag. John, did you think that was effective, Tumblr, John?
Which John? Me?
John Tumblin.
Yes, I think it was, first of all, it put responsibility on the leaders and the kids, because they had to hold the flag and think about it, everybody watching them hold the flag. And it made them feel important.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was worthwhile, a couple minutes here and there when you do that. It just seemed to put a little formality into it. And they get their patch obviously at that point.
Hey, Ron, at 248, for a number of years, we were trying to install a tradition. We kept it going for a few years, but it sort of petered out. But we had a troop totem. It was a simple dowel, probably about an inch thick, maybe a little bit larger. And it was about 18 inches long, I think, just happened to be something that was lying around. And we started decorating it. I put a Turk's head on it. Some scouts carved it and attached other things to it. And so we would do that from meeting to meeting, not unlike what you would see at Wood Badge with, the shovel and what's the other thing that has to get passed back?
Voodoo horn.
The kudu horn.
The kudu horn, yeah. And then at the end of the year, when we would install our new senior patrol leader, the old senior patrol leader would present that totem to the new senior patrol leader. I don't think we got elaborate with the a script, and anything special that way, but it was a sign of, carrying the torch forward, passing on the baton, if you will. I thought it was a nice touch. We weren't able to sustain it, but I think the boys appreciated, the gesture, I thought.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a concrete symbol, and then it ties them into a tradition. If it can continue, that's a great idea, Steve. Yeah. The one that we most think about, is a court of honor, which Steve dug up two nice pictures of, and yeah.
Actually, let me chime in on this. What you'll
Go
see
ahead, Steve.
left
Yep.
with 248, that's an Eagle Court of Honor. Actually, it's not an Eagle Court of Honor. Those were Eagle Scouts from our troop who were recognized at a city council meeting. It's, if you don't do this for Eagle Scouts in particular, it's an easy thing to do. You just need to do it in advance. You write to your city councilors or your selectmen, the mayor, you ask them to, provide recognition, to show up at the Court of Honor, present a citation or a letter of congratulations. You can do that for your state representative and your state senator. You can do that for your U.S. representative and your U.S. senator, and for the governor. You can even do it for the president. Go online to their websites, and many of particularly the U.S. senators and U.S. congressmen, representatives, they actually will have, like a form that you can fill out, and you can select Eagle Scout recognition. You just need to give them at least more than a month, to process. And then you'll get, a formal citation or a letter of recognition from those folks. And but it's your local state representative, your local city councilor or selectman who will actually show up to the event. And in this situation, one of our city councilors who had 3 of the scouts in her district made the point of getting this into the city council docket 1 month to recognize the scouts. And so my point is, don't be afraid to ask, because city councilors love opportunities to connect with their communities who vote for them. And something as simple as this, which is not political, there's no budget, it's just youth recognition. They love it because it makes them look good and makes the city looks good. It's a win-win for everybody. So don't be shy about asking. The challenging aspect will be just scheduling. When can they can fit it into their docket? So that's something we do all the time, and that's why I wanted to offer this photo, because it was a big deal. The whole city council, everybody present, love it.
Yeah, Steve, that's a great, I had forgotten all about that option. We had done that too. John Tumblin, it was your
Yeah.
son that city council, correct?
Yeah, city council, I think Sal DiDomenico came down from the Senate.
Yeah,
But yeah, the city council showed up.
yeah. And we actually went to the Chelsea Town Hall at the 65th anniversary of Troop 109 and did a ceremony there. And that was kind of particularly a nice one because the city council president at that time was my first Eagle Scout, Matt Frank. So yeah, that's an interesting way to get exposure for the troop and show the kids that other people think about, acknowledge their hard work and becoming Eagle Scouts. So that's great. And by the way, Steve, I also requested and got a acknowledgement letter recognizing an Eagle Scout from the Pope. So that's too.
Actually, years ago, one of our scouts, his younger brother, wrote to Bill Belichick and got a letter of congratulations from Bill Belichick for his older brother for making Eagle Scout. So, people of note are always happy to do those things. The critical issue is always to just provide enough lead time so that they can work it in.
So that it actually shows up on time. Yeah.
Can I
Bob,
add one thing? That's okay.
Sure, Bob.
For my son's Eagle Scout, I actually got in touch with Ed Markey's office, and they had a flag flown over the United States Capitol in his honor for receiving his Eagle Scout.
Yep.
He received that flag through the mail. I also reached out to Mike Rowe, who does Dirty Jobs, who is a very big speaker on our behalf for scouts and the trades. And he actually received a nice letter written by Mike Rowe. There's a number of things that you can reach out. NASA, the post office, all different types of organizations. I belong to the Masons of Massachusetts, and they were actually kind enough to send down a couple of guest speakers on his behalf for his award ceremony. And it's endless what you can actually request for the child.
Yes, you can request from your senator or congressman to get a flag flown on the Capitol.
Yes.
You can also request a flag that's flown on the USS Constitution.
Correct.
Yeah.
Piggyback on the flag over the Capitol idea is our troop does that, and then they use that as the flag for the ceremony instead of the regular troop U.S. flag. That's the one they parade in with, and at the end they fold it into the triangle and hand it to the scout or scouts if there's multiple ones, and do it that way.
That's very nice. That's a very nice touch. Yeah.
As I know that the city council here in Medford has recognized Eagle Scouts in the past. We're down to just one troop now. Bob, I don't know if you, Bob Wright, I don't know if you remember that happening in Malden, but it has happened right here in Medford. And now we have some new city council members, so they all eat up the attention.
Yes, they do.
It's a great connection. It is fantastic. I was wondering, Ron, Ron.
Yes.
Says John Tumblin on your picture.
Yeah, I that may have been because I chaired a board of review at one point. Somehow my name got lost.
Eagle Board of Review 2 weeks ago. I know. I think we got at least one Diane from a PAC And I don't know if anybody else here is connected with a pack.
Yeah,
Bob
Joe,
Wright.
Joe Carter tell us all about Cub Scout ceremonies. Yes.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay.
There are other events that for Cub Scouts that they and other ceremonies that they at least used to do before COVID, where the kids would actually hold up like a letter. And it's back when we had themes for roundtables, themes for Cub Scout monthly pack meetings, where they actually would hold up a letter and read a little blurb about it. But it got kids involved, and they got, stage fright out of the way a little bit, and hopefully had fun and enjoyed doing it. But I'll let you continue then.
Okay. Steve, can we go backwards just to the honor patrol business? This is something which I don't think troops make much use of. It's a very nice program in which you encourage patrol spirit. They have to have a patrol yell, all of that stuff. You look a little bit at their advancement over a period of time, that they've done good turns in service projects. And then they get to wear this gold star on top of their patrol patch. Has anybody done that? Steve, has your troop tried that?
No, we've never had any patrol that motivated.
Huh.
And for those motivated patrols, it's not like a one and you're done. You can earn it
No, it's
every
over
year
it's
and make a
months.
nice little
Yeah.
circle. I think you can fit up to 12 of them on there, which would be too many.
Yeah, I think you have to do it. It covers a 3-month period. I think that's what for the application.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yes, and it does it. It takes motivation and it takes follow through. But I think it's a nice way to build a team. That being said, I can only think of it happening two or three times.
We tried that way back when I was a youth.
Uh-huh.
One of the things is you have to keep the name of the patrol the same, which is hard for these
Yep.
millennials and plus. But I mean, we had a standard, like there was like 24 standard patrols, and we just pick and choose what they were, and that's what we kept. And our patrol had been around for probably about 16 years. So when we got the patrol name, we actually started going about the National Honor Patrol, and I think it was called something else prior to that.
Maybe the BP honor.
Yeah,
Baden-Powell Award.
Yeah, yeah. It has had different names over the years, and you're right. Not many units have the tradition of a patrol that lasts for decades. Patrol name, which I guess is something that's just changed over the years.
True.
Okay. So anyway, it's something you think about trying. It's kind of it's a fun activity, and something that could help build your patrols into meaningful teams. Okay, Joe, we have some ceremonies for Cub Scouts. What do Cub Scouts do these days?
So I think I do want to just start by not to jump down Ken's throat, but millennials are in their 40s.
Can they still be Boy Scouts?
So they're still Cub Scouts.
They're still Cubs then. Okay.
So Cub Scout ceremonies, really we're breaking this down into 3 main parts. There's crossover, there's the blue and gold, and then there's just your monthly pack meeting where it's time for here's the awards, here's the things we're doing. Because Cub Masters, I know there aren't a lot in this chat, but hopefully who are watching online, every time you are standing in front of your pack, sort of announcing anything, you're doing a ceremony. So using the tools that the great history of scouting gives us to make ceremonies better will improve those pack meetings. Though generally we are going to talk a little bit more about crossover and blue and gold here. We've got on the sheet, if we could just go back real quick. The OA has a crossover team. I believe Pennacook Lodge does that. I know they have great ceremonies teams. I don't know if they have a program for running. I wish there was someone more active. I'll ask, and I'll get back to you guys next month.
Yeah, we can, yeah, that would be good to know. Yep.
To know if that's what's good is that there is now a national crossover ceremony. Back when even I was in the OA, it was pretty much up to every lodge just to create their own. But with the new standards regarding American Indian affairs and activities, I believe they call it now, there is one and only one Cub Scout crossover ceremony. So that's good because that means that the OA can continue learning that ceremony. So let's go to blue and gold.
Joe, can I interrupt for a second?
Oh, please.
What we have done is basically a troop activity, which has gone from building a monkey bridge to using that for the actual crossover for the Cubs. And if they get across, they get their neckerchief and their new epaulets and a copy of the Boy Scout handbook. I think that's a pretty standard crossover strategy, isn't it?
Yeah, I do wonder because the standards for how high up you can be without being belayed are different for Cub Scouts than Boy Scouts. Maybe you could have it steep in the middle.
Oops. Then perhaps 3.5 feet off the ground.
Yeah, I think it's over their head for Cub Scouts is the standard, which is good. Don't quote me on that. I am not a climbing or cope director or instructor or anything like that. So blue and gold banquets are 'tis the season. They happen right around the anniversary of scouting on the 10th of February every year. And I love the picture that you guys chose because I am here to talk about my personal bugbear, which is blue and golds need a theme, and the theme can't be blue and gold. Your blue and gold banquet is going to be so much more fun and amazing if you choose something that these kids are going to be into. There was what I recommend for a Cub Master is just right before Christmas, go into the party cities. They're getting rid of all the stuff for so that they can get all the party stuff so that they can get the Halloween costumes and the Christmas stuff up. Look at what is going on sale, what the big movies are. If I were doing a blue and gold, it would be Super Mario themed because all of that stuff is super cheap right now because it's been 8 or so months since the movie came out. But also, the movie just hit streaming. That gives you the opportunity as a Cub Master to go to your den leaders and say, hey, I need a skit from you, but I want it Mario flavored. I want it because that is our theme. And it doesn't have to be Mario. It doesn't have to even be a huge property. But think of yourself as a prom planning committee, right? Just having the theme be let's do Cub Scouting is going to be great for Lions. And then Tigers will probably have forgotten it. But by the time the Wolves show up, it's going to be 3 years of exactly the same thing over and over again. By having a theme, by having that constraint, you ask den leaders, you ask the people putting together even the food, the decorations, to think more creatively about the problem of what should our blue and gold banquet be. Because we have the data, we lose kids going from bears to Weeblos. And there's a lot of reasons why people have speculated that is. If you ask me, it's because by the time they're bears, they've done every single thing exactly the same way 4 times now. And even your most gung-ho kid about Cubs is going to, find that boring and monotonous. So you need to have a theme, and it can't just be go Cub Scouts. So do we have another slide after blue and golds? I talked about Scouting's anniversaries. Did I say it was the 10th? How dare I? Yes, it's the 8th. Are we talking about Scout Sunday? That's not me. That's not a Cub Scout ceremony.
Yes, it is.
Scout Sunday is the Sunday before, or in some places the Sunday after. There was some conversation about this online. Evidently, there are some denominations or faith communities where the first Sunday of the month is very important, and they like to push it back a week to the, I guess it would be the 10th in this case, right? Is that, would
Yeah,
that
the Methodists celebrate on the second Sunday
Sure.
of February.
So if it's Methodists and that faith community, that makes sense. There's also Scouts Shabbat, and I believe the Muslim scouting has their, I think their holy day's Friday. Don't quote me on that, but I believe
That's
they have.
correct.
Yeah,
It
and
is-
I think they have their own program too. I unfortunately don't know the name of it.
I couldn't find it. I could not find it, and it's concerning. I know there is a Muslim-based unit in the council. Yes, yes.
So I don't know what is going to happen. Besides, I know that I'll be in the pews on Sunday, the 4th, in uniform, getting strange looks if I don't bring the kids.
Well, I think it depends on the organization. We had a very good relationship with the pastor of Our Lady of Grace Church. And one of the things we did for a number of years was coordinate the religious emblem program for Cub Scouts so that it wrapped up and they could receive their medals as part of the Mass on Scout Sunday. That was one. Unfortunately, he would not let Scouts BSA level kids participate either as readers, even if in their home parish they were allowed to do that. So that was one hang up. And then for a couple of years, John, can you tell about the Scout Sunday breakfasts?
Yeah, Mike Piazza would come in and bring his, Mike Piazza's a caterer, and he would bring in, and he would probably have one of the best breakfasts I've ever seen. Pancakes, eggs, sausages, sausage patties, bacon. There was a lot of food there.
And any person who came to that Scout Sunday Mass got to come for free.
If you snuck into the hall, you got food, whether you went to Mass or not. I mean, we invited everybody for Mass, but I'm sure we had a few people that just kind of jumped in the back of the line.
It was very, good community relations activity. That's the best way to put it.
And people were actually looking forward to Scout Sunday. That was best coffee hour they had.
But at 248, we've only recently started a Cub Pack, but the troop for many years had a very good relationship with the First Baptist Church in Waltham, and for whatever reason, their schedule of church-related activities didn't allow for Scout Sunday to happen in February, so we would always do it in March. And we would host a pancake breakfast. So we would combine Scout Sunday, where the Scouts would go up and be part of the service, and we would do a Scouts Own. When the appropriate time came, we would do a Scouts Own. And then after the service was completed, they would come down into their fellowship hall, a church hall, and our Scouts would serve a pancake breakfast to all the parishioners. And of course, while the Scouts are upstairs in church, the parents are in the kitchen cooking like crazy, pancakes and whatnot. And it was extremely popular with the parishioners, with the congregation. They would inquire about it if a date hadn't been announced. They'd pestering the pastor, when is it going to happen? And our Scouts, enjoyed doing it, and the parents enjoyed, putting in the extra time actually, because they knew that this was a show of gratitude, to the congregation for allowing us to meet there and to supporting us and so forth. So, I mean, that sort of thing, if it's not part of Scout Sunday, any time that you can do something like that as in gratitude for your host is a good idea. And if you can tie it in to some sort of ceremony or thing to some date, some event, it's a good idea.
Is Art, do you guys do anything for the anniversary or for Scout Sunday?
I just want to, before Art jumps on, I would love to hear all these ceremonies, but I do have to get these kids to bed. So if you'll excuse me.
Thank you, Joe. Thanks for your help.
Hey, guys, put you out of bed, will you?
We did something with our with the United Methodist Church last year. We had not done anything in a long time, and there's nothing currently planned for next month with our new charter organization. I did think about it at one point, but I kind of it didn't get on my radar.
Yeah. You know, it's a nice gesture, as Steve said, to cement relationships with your charter organization. And the other thing is, you know, I think the anniversary certainly doesn't get played up by many people. That's something. It'd be nice if you could coordinate a Scouts BSA coordinate a court of honor would kind of jibe with that. That
we
week.
just have a cake in a special ceremony.
Yeah, have a cake, right? Birthday party for scouting. Good idea, John. What are you baking?
Whatever you want. You know,
Okay.
there's the Methodist Church just put out their Scout Sunday patch too.
Oops.
See if I can- There's another one, yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's kind of the other people have any comments they want to add to the talk about ceremonies and whatnot.
You are here.
Okay, I do want to point out that this is a great time if your scouts are interested to think about the astronomy merit badge. The winter sky is the most interesting, easy one to look at. The reason this slide got tagged onto it because this morning I got up before sunrise, and there off on the southeastern horizon was Arcturus, way up in the sky, very bright star, bright orange star. But your kids should be able to find Orion. That's pretty easy. Orion the Hunter. And then if you use that, the next slide shows you how you can use that one constellation to find a number of other ones. Taurus, the Bull, the Dog Star, Sirius, the Gemini, Castor and Pollux. And if you can find the Gemini, you can also find the Pleiades, which are the logo for Subaru, the Seven Sisters.
-1.
-1, the shy sister. You know that story, don't you, John?
Yes. It went supernova.
There was seven young maidens who spent the day dancing. And they danced and they danced and they went so fast that eventually they ascended into the heavens and became that constellation. One of them was a little shy, so she's hard to see. That story actually pops up in several different cultures, which is kind of funny that, you know, the same explanation for that body of stars. Okay, well, Steve, that's all we have for the breakout stuff. Thank you.
Steve?
You're welcome. Any discussion, conversations, ideas from our guests? Diane, David, what sort of experiences you had with ceremonies? No?
I don't,
Oh, go
you
ahead.
know, I really enjoyed all the things they did at Wood Badge, and I'd like to see our troop do more of them, but we don't seem to be a troop that the current leadership welcomes innovation. So
56 doesn't welcome innovation.
yeah,
That is an interesting.
People's Republic of Cambridge. That's an interesting change over the years.
Do you work with Dave English?
Yeah, I used to.
Diane?
yes,
Okay, well, he's a beaver. He should know how to do this kind of stuff. You remind him of that. He's a beaver.
Well, I'm a Bob. Maybe that's the problem.
Maybe.
I will say one thing, that over the years in working on Eagle Scout Courts of Honor, I've we've come across a lot of different scripts out there on the internet, and I have a few pet peeves of Eagle Scout Court of Honor scripts that I've read over the years and other people have brought to the table. Things, when they have the Eagle Scout do the Eagle Scout pledge and so forth, and one of the things you'll see commonly in some of these scripts is the master of ceremonies will say things, well, wait a minute, you're not an Eagle Scout yet. Not until you do this, or not until you do that. Like, no, that kid's been an Eagle Scout probably for 6 months.
Right.
Passed his border review, or she passed her border review. They're an Eagle Scout. You're just presenting them with the award and making, so it annoys me because it's not accurate, it's misleading, and it's not the point, like this kid's not earning his Eagle Scout because he's reciting some words that you've concocted.
All the requirements are complete.
Exactly. So they shouldn't, I just object to inserting those sorts of things into an Eagle Scout Court of Honor because they're just not real. There's so much more to focus on than that the sort of, contrived things about how you step forward. We've one of the things we've tried at 248 is to have other scouts in the troop talk about what that scout did at each, rank level because of their experience with them in the troop, or, I saw Susan or I saw David, do this, or they contributed this to me, in my scouting journey. And actually, I have to say that I got the idea from attending a 304 Belmont Eagle Court of Honor. They didn't do it the same way that I've been talking about, but what they had were their peers in the troop gave testimonials about their experience of the Eagle Scout in the troop, and they were actually quite humorous and quite clever. Because they were all, high school kids and they're very articulate. But and I thought, well, that's a great idea, and I decided to take it and get younger scouts at each, rank level to speak about the Eagle Scout from that perspective, rather than just, a personal testimonial to connect it to the rank.
Very nice idea.
Not to go on, but I think it's important when you get these scripts from online to really look at them from a an editorial point of view and not just carry forward some of these fabrications, if I will.
Yeah. Do you let the scout and the scout's family kind of design their own ceremony?
Well, yes and no. In fact, when I first became Scoutmaster, that was the practice in the troop, to let the scout and their family decide what was going to happen. And I said, well, wait a minute. They certainly should have a voice in how things are done, but it's the troop presenting, the award to the scout. It's the troop's ceremony. And so we shouldn't abrogate that responsibility to the scout, but we certainly should have a conversation with the scout and say, what sort of things are you interested in? So, for example, we've given scouts the choice, do you want to have a multi-scout Eagle Scout Court of Honor because you and your buddies all made Eagle within, a year of each other? Or do you want to have a standalone, Eagle Court of Honor? So that makes a difference. And I've noticed over the years that they tend to choose to do it together with their buddies rather than going alone. But I have noticed that some scouts are a bit shy and they don't want to have a special standalone Eagle Scout Court of Honor. For whatever reason, they just don't want to go through all of that. And so we've done Eagle Scout Court of Honors part of a regular year-end or mid-year troop Court of Honor. We're presenting, rank advancement, merit badges, and so forth. And we present the Eagle, ribbon as part of that. We do it a little bit more ceremoniously, but that's not the only thing that's happening, because that's not what the scout wanted, and they just have their immediate family, present rather than inviting everyone they've ever known in their lives, which, that's the other extreme, is the kid, the parents, treat it like it's, a coming out party, a debutante ball or something. And that's perfectly fine too. We've had those as well. In fact, we've alternated from doing Eagle Scout Court of Honors incorporated into regular troop Court of Honors. We've had them at multi-Eagle Scout courts at public restaurants, in a private dining area. We do them routinely in the sanctuary of the First Baptist Church pretty commonly. So we've even done them outside during the pandemic. We did 3 Eagle Scout Court of Honor in the backyard of one of the scouts and live streamed it on Facebook.
Yeah, that's nice. When I said the notion that you want it to be an individual event for the scout, that's kind of like letting them pick what they wanted to do. But yeah.
But as far as writing the script, I kind of took that over because I felt like, first of all, I was putting too much burden on the scout and the family. And second of all, it was giving up our responsibility to actually manage, what this event was.
Yeah, right. No, and I was, okay. All right. John, do you have any advancement things you want to talk about?
Yeah, let's talk about, first of all, we've been working on this video. Is that ready? Is that ready to go? We decided if that's ready to go. Is that live?
It's live on the YouTube channel, and I posted the link on the district Facebook page.
So that tells that's basically the Trail to Eagle, from Life to Eagle. So instead of coming up with a seminar every 6 months, we decided to create a seminar and put it online. So you guys can go check it out. It's on the Sons of Liberty page, and let us know what you think. And the first of the year, we've returned to in-person boards of review. There's no more. We're going to try and get away from the Zoom stuff. So we'll be having 2 nights we're just trying to decide what 2 nights of the month we want to go with right now. But it'll probably be it might be the 2nd and 4th Tuesdays, and we can handle 2 Eagles per night. So we can do 4 boards of review a month. And what else was there? I think that's about it right now, is that we've returned to the physical boards of review. That's the biggie.
Okay, well, thank you, John. Appreciate it. All right, Steve, I think we can wrap it up.
Oh, very good. In that case, Mr. Bowl, do you have a closing ceremony?
Nothing formal. I do want to thank everyone for all the things they do for scouts families, the community, your chartered organization, and your families. That, we are scouting. We as individuals represent all the rest of the people in the organization, and we have to support each other as well as give some recognition and include everybody. Let them do as much as they possibly can, so it's off your shoulders. but everybody does. We are all volunteers except for John Pleva here tonight. And I'm sure he spent plenty of hours as a volunteer before he got his council position.
He volunteers with his son's unit, I believe.
Yes, really? Okay.
Yeah. Doing double
I'm pretty
duty.
sure he's not clocked in here. He's volunteering.
We don't want to talk about you too much, John, but you do a great job in your current position too.
Thank you.
So, and actually several of your positions, different titles you've had over the years with us. So glad to have you, John. Really glad to have you. But everybody else, this is how we get new members, is letting them know that we're part of a larger organization, a larger movement. In fact, people often forget that Scouting is intended to be a movement. That's what Baden Powell said at the very beginning. If everybody was like Scouts are with each other, there would be world peace. But it's hard enough in families, I know. But yes, we all do what we can while we can for as many people as we can, and you deserve recognition for that. I'm very happy.
I would encourage everybody to share your ideas or areas of interest for roundtables. We have an agenda, things that we choose and determine. Ron does a great job working up the agenda for the year. But if there are areas that you have questions about, areas that that you need somebody else's advice or experience on, that's what Roundtable is for. So tell us what it is that you need to know about, what you have questions about, what you want to have other people share their experience with, and we'll be happy to accommodate that. So if there's nothing else for the evening, I think we'll stop the recording and say good night. It's just a few minutes before 9 o'clock, so you get a few minutes back in your evening.
If I could steal exactly one of those minutes, just a reminder that even during the cold weather, you do need to stay hydrated.
And Mr. Clark, I think you were raising your hand or fingers.
Just Ken had put a note in the chat, and I will bring more details on that next month. The Cub Scout level program is going to be revamped effective June 1st. So we are starting to get some more of the details of what that looks like and how it's going to go. The National's trying to time release the announcement so that people don't flip and start working on the new requirements too soon. They want everybody to finish through this season as is, and then in June, when the program rollover takes place, have everybody starting in the new ranks with the new requirements. So I'll share more details on that next month. So there's at least a pledge that myself or someone will be here to do a commercial on that at the front end of the meeting. Go from there. And then
I'd like to put up,
I'd put up in the chat. Go ahead.
Sorry, John. I'd like to put up, that's key, that the new requirements start on whatever day they start. We had 3 boys that almost missed making Eagle because they didn't do, what is it? Whatever the new citizenship one was.
Society.
So they missed it, and the Scoutmasters missed it. So make sure that you know that the new stuff starts on this day. Sorry, John, that was my input. Sorry.
No problem. And then just a plug to the Scoutmasters or troop leaders out there. I do try to get to the Eagle ceremonies if I get invited to them. I don't get too many from the Sons of Liberty crowd, so please, send a note. If I can't go, I try to find someone that'll go on my behalf. We do have a certificate in the Eagle credentials that we can present to them. It's an appreciation certificate on behalf of the council. But happy to go if I can.
Very good. Thank you all. Great resources, great information. Thank you, Ron, for your good work as Roundtable Commissioner. And thank you, Bob, for your contributions as well this evening. Thank you, Mr. Bowl, your great work as District Commissioner. So thank you, good evening, and have a good night.
Take care. Good night, everybody.